So I'm going to see how much time before the break.
Ready now.
Okay, well, we're going to be right back after the break.
This is the Reality Radio Network on Telstar 5 Transponder 5 and on the internet at realityradionetwork.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Quayle, and for over 10 years and thousands of hours of radio broadcasts, I've been warning and preparing individuals and families of the great perils that are now upon us by having interviews with some of the more interesting and controversial guests in the country. It benefits you to listen into my previous radio broadcasts, which are available by subscription to archiveondemand.com or by calling Steve Melching at 260-356-2611. Time is running out. The information you may gain could mean the difference between life and death. So once again, call Steve Melching at 260-356-2611.
And now back to Sherry.
Okay, I'll do what I said I'd do. I'll give you a call-in number. If you have a question, you can call me. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking about some of the information I wanted to get out tonight. The call-in number is 260-356-2611. If you have a question, go ahead and call. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking here, okay? So some of them, let's go back to shape-shifting, and some of you, to familiarize me with it, you've seen werewolves. Now, we know werewolves are nothing but demons. Demons can cause humans to shape-shift into certain things. Some of you can think of witches, where a witch can appear as an old person or a cat, or, shape-shift into anything. This is possible because of demons. So werewolves are one form of shape-shifting, and it's the same kind of thing when these reptilians can host a human body and use holographics. It's the same type of, well, not exactly the same technology because they can use holographics where demons can't, but they can cloak as humans. And we're going to start seeing that more and more and more, and we're going to start seeing even the visible looks of the ugly aliens because the veil's being lifted. In the last days, the veil's going to be lifted, and these aliens are going to be seen amongst our populations on the earth. Some of the reptilian human shapeshifters can be caught in between shifts. Some turn green. Some people's faces start to contort for no reason, and you think you're seeing things. Most notable features of shapeshifters is their beady snake eyes, their long jawbones, big noses, and small eyes. Some have that wide-awake look. They look like their eyes are going to pop out of their heads. If you've seen the State of the Union address in Washington, some of them you could, they're there. I mean, they have their beady eyes, or they're waiting for a forked tongue to spew out of their mouths, or they look like they have invisible toothpicks holding their eyes open. These are just some of the features you can look for. Granted, a lot of people hosting reptilians, the most powerful alien faction and dominant force on the earth we are dealing with today is going to be the third faction, because while the two factions are fighting it out, the third faction, the alien agenda that's sneaking in, knows full well that they're ultimately going to get the power of the whole world in their hands, and they're going to be the armies for Satan, the Antichrist, ruling it all. So some of the things we've got is we've got the little grays with the big black eyes, most notable for their breeding agenda and human abductions. The reptilians, who are large, scaly lizards, or if you've seen Sleestack from the old Saturday morning show Land of the Lost, that's what they look like. The Mothmen, most notable for their red beady eyes and wings, not to mention their famous appearance in West Virginia and their ensuing portrayal in the book and movie The Mothman Prophecies. And the Draconians, most notable for their portrayal in the Star Wars series. The Draconians look like the Darth Vaders. They can be all in black, or if you really get a close-up, those also resemble phantoms. Or Draconians are black dragons. They're red beady eyes. That is Satan's branch. He was a Draconian. They rule the roost of the reptilians and the Greys. The Greys are really not a created species. They're created, they're manipulated, they're owned by the reptilians. Sure. And what they do is they do the bidding of the reptilians. The reptilians are busy controlling the governments of the world, and the politicians and all of the different legislators around the world. The Greys go about, and what they're trying to do is create the master race. And the master race is going to be one that's mostly alien, that looks human. Sure. They're trying to create a soul, and they can't do it.
Sherry?
Yeah.
You do have a caller when you're ready.
Okay, go ahead and bring him in.
Okay, your caller is up now, and his name is John.
Hello, Sherry.
Yes.
Excellent. I really enjoy your show. I try to get it every week. And I've heard you on Zeph Daniels as well, and it's the most exciting interview that he has. I had a question for you, and a lot of people are concerned, especially over the next 2 to 3 weeks. There are so many interesting dates coming up. What do you think we should all prepare for, or where should our hearts be?
Well, definitely the month of September and October, there's a lot of events that are happening. I know, the hurricanes that Harp and Yahweh's allowing these hurricanes that, they're manipulated. They're government created with the weather machine, Harp, located in Colorado Springs and in Alaska. And these are judgments like Yahweh's allowing to happen right now. And Christians need to realize that things aren't always what they've been conditioned to believe that's going to happen. Most Christians are waiting for a rapture to happen. And they're going to see a lot of events here on earth before that ever happens. The next couple of weeks, for those who live in southern Florida, please seek the Lord on what He leads you to do. But, my advice is to get out of Florida, because the Illuminati plans to sink half of the state of Florida, or just make it, no man's land.
Mm-hmm.
On the Illuminati map for End Days prophecies, there is no Florida. There's probably northern Florida, and that's it.
So many people are looking at relocating. Are there any places in the United States that you think might be better than others, or is it time to look for another place?
There's places I wouldn't head. I wouldn't head to the East Coast. I wouldn't head to the West Coast. Probably in the Midwest. There's probably, seek the Lord. He'll tell you if you should move and where to go.
Okay.
States like Arkansas or, even some of those are being targeted. I mean, there's so plans everywhere. Just seek the Lord, because you know what? He's not going to tip his hat and tell everybody, all of his children at once, where to go, and let everybody else know where they're at.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's things he doesn't reveal, or doesn't want, made well known. So people need to listen to him, listen to that small voice in their spirits.
Well, I thank you for your program and for your sites. You've just been doing a tremendous work for the Lord, and we very much appreciate it.
Thank you for calling. Where are you calling from?
Indiana.
Indiana, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
I get the question a lot, what months to look for, and the months to look for the most for disasters and nuclear war, especially, are September and October, May, June, and July. And September has always been the changing month for the arrival of the Antichrist, for the rapture of the church. I'll say the rapture of the church, but it's the taking of the bride, the 144. September's the month for that. October's always been a month for nuclear strikes on United States soil. It's also been a month for comet strikes. I've seen comets hitting Lake Erie in the month of October. And I'm not going to say years, because what doesn't happen one year can come back and hit you the next year. May, June, and July are dominant for alien invasions. May, look for this Nasera agenda. I'm going to get into it more next week. I'll tell you what Nasera is. It's a political platform in the agenda of the Antichrist. And it's dominant in May. May is also a dominant month for martial law in the United States. June and July 4th, look for an Independence Day alien invasion. And I know this is funny because we've seen this in movies already, but where do you think they get their ideas? and with Tutatis coming in, look for the movie Armageddon scenario, Armageddon movie coming in. We're looking at, Hollywood movies here, and they're telling, they're almost warning and telling the people ahead of time what's coming. When you watch all these movies, the only thing I'm looking for is what are they trying to reveal now? And with Tutatis coming in completely out of control, off course, the Bible code says it's offline, they may try to nuke it and split it in half and keep it from hitting the earth. So things could get really interesting. And, or, guy could just flip it away with his pinky and it wouldn't even come to earth, It's in God's hands now. Some of these things that are coming that are going to happen, he's not going to keep it, stop things from happening. He can't, we have to get things going. And I know Christians just want to live out their lives and not be bothered and maybe, live to a nice old age. And then there's some of us that just want to say, bring it on, let's do it, let's get it over with, let's